Okay. Hopefully y'all can hear me. I try my best to get here a little earlier, but it takes time sometimes to get myself settled and so forth. And also the internet. Let me see. Yeah, hopefully I know it's still flickering, it's still doing some weird stuff, so please bear with me. Move this back over here. Yeah, so I'm gonna try to keep this pretty brief, but hope everybody's doing okay. Today is November 20th, 11:09 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I wanted to come with day 4 of thankfulness. And yeah, today I wanted to talk about that I'm thankful for rest. Yesterday I talked about how I usually like to be in the rest mindset on Saturdays. Um, and I think that a lot of times because we live in a culture that is constantly go, 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 it's easy to forget about rest, not just sleeping, but having a restful spirit, having a restful mindset. Um, it's like we live in a hustle grind culture. And I'm not saying there's not a time to hit the pavement and go and do what it is that you need to do. But a lot of times we forget that a part of success, a part of accomplishment in life is also rest, reflection, um, imagination. A lot of people are afraid to be with themselves. A lot of people are afraid to sit with their mind and sit with their thoughts. I think the pandemic really encourage that for some people. I know for me, I'm an introvert, so I've always been in my mind and my thoughts and like to read a book. And I was that kid that liked to go to the library. I thought that was exciting. And I'm not saying all introverts are the same, but many of us, we tend to like solitude. Even as a child, like the loud noises and things like that used to make me uncomfortable. And I just really liked quietness. It doesn't mean that I don't like to have fun. I don't like to, sometimes be with, people that you are comfortable with, you laugh, you joke, you whatever. But I do very much enjoy solitude. I do very much enjoy reflection and thinking. I'm very much of a thinker. I'm very much of like the intellectual type. Um so for me, with the pandemic, it didn't come hard for me because I had already been that way, I like to be by myself. I think when I was younger, it was harder for me because I was so caught up in like, oh, I don't want to sit with myself. So I was always a thinker and I always was introvert, but at the same time, I was kind of like struggling with that aspect of being with yourself and being comfortable with that. Um, Excuse me, my allergies. Um, so oh boy. So yeah, so rest is important, and a part of rest is reflection and um like I mentioned, imagination. And you also tend to learn a lot of things about yourself when you're at rest, when your mind is not, oh, I got to pay this, I got to do this, I got to do this, I got to do that. You're able to really kind of get a different perspective on life. You start to have certain thoughts that may have been hidden or buried. Um, and you may even have thoughts about other people. Maybe there's some things that you haven't been doing and working on internally. So it's like, okay, these start to come into my mind while I'm at rest. You're also able to kind of reframe your mind and think on good things, think on, you know, like we're talking about in this series, thankfulness and the blessings and gratitude, maybe also things that you've been through and how you've overcome those things. And sometimes rest may also bring up some challenging things as well. It doesn't have to always be like, oh, it's always going to be daisies and roses. Like we are complex people, we have complex lives and we go through a variety of different things. So maybe rest for somebody may also be releasing, and crying and, being able to cleanse from certain things because they're not able to do that when they're running here, 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 there. So I just encourage other people to work on that. That's something that I'm still working on, because it's not even just about I'm not working, I'm not focusing on the day-to-day stuff, but it's also making sure that I'm able to sometimes tune out the noise. I know I'm on my phone a lot, and sometimes I watch YouTube videos on that type of day where I'm just kind of focused on rest. But let me see. Hello. So yeah, but I don't know if I see we have a viewer. If you have something to say, if you wanted to talk about what you're thankful for. Um, I mentioned that I'm thankful for rest. So yeah, I'm not gonna stay on too long, but if you have something else you want to add, it's actually really cold today. I wanted to go outside, but I'm not sure. Not into the cold weather. Kind of covered my hair today. I'm looking forward to my next retwist. Oh, well, that's like the best thing, right? A lot of times we take it for granted, and well, not everybody, but sometimes it's easy to take it for granted, especially with everything going on in the world, you know. And I was mentioning it on Instagram not so long ago that if you're in your right state of mind, then that's a blessing because so many people are losing it. So not even just being alive, but being able to go through life with your mind intact. That's like a big deal. Um, yeah. And I guess that goes back to rest, you know, being able to tune out the noise sometimes. I think it's good to stay up to date with everything that's going on. Like keeping your head in the sand to me is not safe. You know, some people would just want to be about like, oh, only positivity. I don't want to hear anything about positivity. But to me, that's like, well, we don't live in that reality. Um, you know, we live in a reality where we have good and bad. So we need to be aware of the bad and be vigilant and stay, you know, ready, but at the same time, not be constantly like consumed with that and focus on that 24/7. I feel like it has to have like a balance. So I always say that I don't really trust people who don't want to like ever face the truth and see the world for what it is. Like, how are you only seeing, you know, the rainbow? It's like, no, that's not realistic. But at the same time, you don't want to be negative all the time either. So balance is important. So it's kinda like what I was saying about rest, you know, like, there's a time to go out there and do what you need to do, be productive, but there's a time to also just take a step back. And I feel like that's even more pronounced for men sometimes because I feel like sometimes men, they have, like, a lot of responsibility, and obviously not all men are, like, on their stuff. But for men who are out there working and doing what they need to do and they have a lot of pressure on them, it's easy to, "Oh, I gotta work, I gotta work, I gotta work." But it's like even if you're not getting enough rest as you would like, even just your mindset of being in a restful mindset at times. Sorry about my connection. I have to figure out what's wrong with my computer because it flickers, so I don't know. Yeah, a lot of people they have been through a lot of stuff, so they have a hard time trusting people. Um, I try to make sure that I'm working on being more trustworthy and putting my focus on that. But yeah, I don't think that it's safe to not trust anybody, but I also feel like it's not safe to put your full trust in people. So people are faulty, you know, so you don't really have relationships that are truly like have depth if there's not some level of trust. But then at the same time, like putting your full life into a person, like without any type of like discernment, that's not really the wise thing to do. So you end up learning the hard way. But we have to make sure that we are trustworthy too, and we have a set of like morals and values and principles that we stand on, regardless of what other people are doing. If they're not on that, then we just release them and we move forward. So, but you do have to be careful because there's so much stuff going on. Even like with friends and family, like turning against people. Like, I don't expect people to be perfect, but when you're like plotting and scheming, that's another thing. That's not good. So, we do have to be careful and see things for what it is. So, yeah, I was just having that conversation not too long ago that like sometimes people like they were saying that like some people are their focus is only money, so they'll do anything for it. So, I guess like the older I get, the more I understand like why it says the love of money is the root of all evil. Like people twist and they say money is the root of all evil, but that's not what it says. Because if that was the case, we would all be evil because we have to use money. And money can be, used for good things. But yeah, when you love it that much, it's like you're willing to do anything for it. It's like you don't have a sense of loyalty to nobody. You're loyal to the money, and that's a dangerous person. So like they'll turn at any moment. And I was just having a conversation recently. I think it was the same conversation. I was saying, men have to be careful because sometimes they say like, "Oh, that's my boy. I've known him for this amount of years or whatever." But have you ever seen him in a state of loyalty? Like you have to see people how they react when it's time for them to be loyal. And if you see that they're willing to like throw you under the bus or you know what I mean? Or even if they made a mistake, but they don't come back and at least apologize and acknowledge that and try to change. They just on some like, "Oh, well, it's either you or me." Um, yeah, you have to be careful. It doesn't matter how long you may have known that person. Some people wasn't really taught those type of things. It's just like, I'm gonna get it by any means. So, and it's not just men, it's women, but I was talking about it in the context of men because sometimes, especially if a man is from the streets or whatever, he has like a certain group of people that he's around. He's like, "Oh, I've known him for 14 years, 15 years." But when money is involved, yeah, you have to make sure that people are there for more than that. So it's a very dangerous thing. I'm not from the streets, so I don't know. I need to cut this thing. This tag is like showing. I've only wore this thing one time. Yes, I don't know if you have anything else to add. I think most people are probably like going to, well, not most people, but some people go to church today. Maybe sleeping in. I know the holidays are coming up, so people are going to be focusing on that. Mm, I think there might be like a delay in this. Yeah, so if you don't have anything else to add, then I guess I will head off. But yeah, I just wanted to come on here with day 4, and this connection is really annoying me. I don't know what's wrong with my connection. The internet works fine. It's just that when I get on here, it's like it flickers, it does weird stuff. I don't know. Yeah, so I'm gonna head off and I'll be back tomorrow, like spirit, and probably around the same time, maybe 11 o'clock a.m. probably. And I'll come with day 2. I mean day 2. What am I saying? Day 5 of the thankfulness. So um thank you to um I assume this is a man because he has a picture. But thank you to the man who came in to chat because I usually don't get people coming in, at least not lately. I used to when I used to go live on here a lot more, but it's been a while since I've chatted with people in the chat room, the chat box, whatever you want to call it. Chat room. It's like it's not whatever, right? So thank you to him for coming through and chatting with me for a little bit. And I hope that it was beneficial. And yeah, so I'll be back tomorrow with the next thing that I'm thankful for. He said he was thankful for seeing another day. So that is, I know it may sound cliche, but it is a blessing to see another day because there's so much going on. So that's definitely a blessing. Um, so yes. So thank you for sharing that. And take care, y'all. And I will see y'all again tomorrow. Around the same time, but I will aim to put it up today so y'all can have an idea of what time I'm coming on. Oh yeah, tomorrow people hmm, I wonder if I should come on in the evening instead. I'll see. Okay. Yeah, I'll let y'all know. I'll try to post it today. Take care. Bye.